Innovative volunteerism.
Dr. Richard, actually, this is a question that I really love. I think I've asked you before, but I'm not sure if I have done. But I would like to ask you, could you tell us about innovative volunteerism? What inspired you to initiate this, and how you were able to get the youth of Africa to join this movement? I mean, because the first time I heard innovative volunteerism on when I saw it on Twitter, I just fell in love with that. I never knew it was attached to Dr. Richard, to be honest, but I just loved it. So I just want you to talk about that. How did you come about this idea, and how did you get people to join, and especially young Africans? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Say. And that's a very good question. And I knew that this was going to come. It always comes up all the time. And I think I will appreciate that, even though as I answer it, everyone should download a copy of my book and read it. It's free on my website, richardmunang.com. The point is this. I grew up in the northwestern part of Cameroon in a small village called Jinqing. Went to school. That shows it's not an issue. Grew up in a poor family. That's not an issue. People grow up in poor families. The issue is not where you come from. The issue is what you do with what you have. Because of that, when I finally went to school and graduated and started my career, what I noticed, especially in the African continent, which is replicable to other parts of the world, is that projects alone will not be able to solve the monumental challenges that we face, especially that of climate change. That individual action, as Arch said, is not going to be enough. The biggest individual action is collective action. And because of that, project after project, implementation comes and goes, but the problems continues to perpetuate. And then when you look at the entire African continent, 257 million people go to bed hungry. You're getting into the labor market without jobs. And then we're having ecological degradation. Then we're having all these challenges compounding every year and every year. So I asked myself, if you were actually to do everything, how will you engage everybody in a way that the person contribute his own quota towards the solution process without necessarily having to wait and say what we are used to, that I do not have money, so I cannot do anything, which is the easiest excuse. And because of that, I thought through this, and this is actually captured in my book, and given the fact that we have a continent at the moment, 1.3 billion people increasing, we have the youthful population over 60% who are jobless. How will they get the jobs? But I noticed that we are not tapping into something that is quite very, very crucial in driving any transformational development, especially under the changing climate, where we need 50 billion if we are to hit 2 degrees. And currently in the continent, we need every year about 7 to 15 billion to implement. Where will the resources come from? And even if the resources were there, do we have the right skills? Because this is something we always miss. As a result of that, what I thought through was that if we are able to inspire a human being to see himself as a solution by retooling his or her skill, then that person, once you retool his skill and he or she is guided to leverage on inspiration and focus in turning a challenge into an opportunity, just focusing on the agro value chain, which currently is losing about 48 billion in the African continent. Just as an example, or the charcoal that mothers in villages are using for cooking, and as a result of that, that is causing indoor pollution and killing them. If we are able to guide people and inspire them to just turn west to briquettes, that will solve a problem. And that then is the essence, the reason why I came up with this logic of innovative volunteerism, which is structured guidance, leveraging on inspiration, leveraging on motivation, and inspiring people, regardless of age, young at heart, and to retool their skills and tap into these hidden opportunities that are disguised as challenges, but do so in a way that they work with one another, where collectivism becomes the central stage, where selflessness, not selfishness, because a lot of people love to work alone. Selflessness trumps selfishness, and where collectivism trumps individualism, and where hopelessness gets overpowered by hopefulness. And that is the essence of innovative volunteerism, that we can collectively come together regardless of which organization you work, because organizations are people themselves. Without people, organizations will not function. And so even as an individual, somebody will tell you, I cannot do it because I am not in an organization. That's a lie. You can do it because you yourself, you are an organization. You yourself, your skills and talents can inspire someone to do it differently. And when we started it, people didn't believe because it was not the money-first approach that has been fronted most of the time. But when we started to inspire young people, and the few that started to showcase that they can then be able, regardless of educational level, use their skills to start doing something as we guide them, others started to follow. And we're tapping into that passion. And now this has become one of the biggest movements, not only in the continent, but even across the world. There are a lot of people who are practicing innovative volunteerism in India, in Latin America, in Europe, and they are reaching out to me all the time. So the essence of innovative volunteerism, as I've explained, is a mentorship tool, but more focus on a mindset change to see things that sometimes are regarded as challenges, but as opportunities. But knowing that you yourself, you can be able to turn that challenge into an opportunity and create not just impact, but also a legacy, which is self-fulfilling and at the same time what we need.
Wow, that's really mind-blowing. It's as if I've not seen your work before. This is mind-blowing, and I don't think any young African would not want to be a part of this, because one of our major problems is mindset.
Let's embrace innovative volunteerism.